Some important information out of the Social Security Administration, which pays benefits to nearly 70 million beneficiaries each and every month. Let's get into it and discuss all of the details from my new temporary studio. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and I'm back each and every day to keep you updated with topics just like this one we're going to talk about right here in this video. Let's get into it. So a recent report out of the Social Security Administration gave us some very important information regarding Social Security retirement, disability, and survivors benefits. Now, we've seen some progress reports on this over the last few months and or year or so, and we finally have the latest report out of this, and they're talking about the solvency of the program. In other words, how long can they continue to pay full benefits at the rate that they are right now? So I want to get into this. I actually have Corey coming in. She's going to be reading a very important article to you, and then of course I will come back and we can summarize everything. But this is actually pretty good, and I want to lay this all out there because the time horizon has actually changed a little bit since the last time we talked about this, probably about 4 or so months ago. So either way, I just want to let everybody know that there's no fear. Your benefits will not be ending anytime soon, anything like that, so please don't worry about that. But there is a little bit of change as far as how long these programs will be solvent. So with that being said, I'm going to bring Corey in right now. She's going to read that article to you, and then I will see you again in just a minute, and we will go through the key takeaways from this information. All right, Corey, take it away, and I'll see you again in just a minute.
This article is from CNBC. Social Security trust funds now projected to run out of money sooner than expected due to COVID, Treasury says. And this article is written by Thomas Frank. The Social Security Trust Fund most Americans rely on for their retirement will run out of money in 12 years, 1 year sooner than expected, according to an annual government report published on Tuesday. The outlook, aggravated by the COVID pandemic, also threatens to shrink retirement payments and increase healthcare costs for older Americans. The Treasury Department oversees 2 Social Security funds, the Old Age and Survivors Insurance and Disability Insurance Trust Funds. Those programs are designed to provide a source of income respectively to former workers who have retired at the end of their careers or to those who cannot work due to a disability. Officials said that the Old Age and Survivors Trust Fund is now able to pay scheduled benefits until 2033, 1 year earlier than reported last year. The Disability Insurance Fund is estimated to be adequately funded through 2057, 8 years earlier than the reported published in 2020. Though the 2 funds are separate under law, the Treasury Department said the hypothetical combined funds would be able to pay scheduled benefits on a timely basis until 2034. Senior administration officials said in a press briefing Tuesday afternoon that a spike in deaths among retired-aged Americans in 2020 helped keep the program's costs lower than projected. They added that the ultimate long-term impact of coronavirus is less clear as costs and revenues return to their extended forecasts. The Treasury Department said it estimates the level of worker productivity, and thus GDP, is assumed to be permanently lowered by 1%, even as they are projected to resume their pre-pandemic trajectories. Nevertheless, the financial outlook for Social Security and Medicare, 2 of the nation's preeminent safety net programs, has deteriorated over the past year as COVID hastened retirements and caused a contraction in the size of the U.S. labor force. There was no change from last year's projection that the Medicare's hospital insurance fund would be depleted in 2026. At that point, doctors, hospitals, and nursing homes would not receive their full compensation from Medicare, and patients would likely bear the responsibility for any cuts to coverage. The finances of both programs have been significantly affected by the pandemic and the recession of 2020, the Treasury Department said in materials released Tuesday. The combined effects of a dive in unemployment, interest rates, earnings, and GDP, as well as higher mortality for the next few years, all significantly impact the outlook of the program. In their entirety, the funds act as pillars upholding the retirement plans of tens of millions of Americans, current and future. Americans have for decades come to assume that the programs they spent years contributing to in payroll taxes would in turn provide for them. The programs have been so popular that they often dubbed the third rail of U.S. politics, simply too dangerous to touch. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen struck the tone in a statement released Tuesday. Having strong Social Security and Medicare programs is essential in order to ensure a secure retirement for all Americans, especially for our most vulnerable populations, she said. The Biden-Harris administration is committed to safeguarding these programs and ensuring they continue to deliver economic security and health care to older Americans. But the future of that model is now in the middle of a slow-moving crisis. Within the past 2 years, the program has started to draw down its assets in order to pay retirees all promised benefits. In other words, Social Security's cost in form of monthly payments to retirees now exceeds the income it takes in from U.S. workers. Projected to soon consistently operate in the red, the program's reserve fund would be depleted around 2033. If Congress does not act by that time, Social Security law would cut benefit checks for retirees by about 20% across the board. For a demographic that has planned on those payments and usually has few other avenues of income, a 20% reduction could prove disastrous and threaten to throw many Americans into poverty. Social Security has long known its face as a simple math problem. With thousands of baby boomers retiring every day, there's an insufficient number of younger people entering the workforce to offset the cost. To make matters worse, Americans' life expectancy is increasing and birth rates are declining. By Social Security's estimate, the number of Americans 65 and older will increase to more than 79 million by 2035, up from the current 54 million, according to census data. Meanwhile, the number of births in the U.S. declined last year by 4% from 2019, doubled the average annual rate of decline by 2% since 2014, the CDC said in May. The U.S. birth rate is now so low that the nation is below replaceable levels, meaning more people die every day than are being born.
So there it is. As you can see, the timeline of these programs has changed a little bit in regards to the solvency. Now, as you noticed in that article right there, it said that the Treasury oversees these two trust funds for Social Security, Old Age and Survivors Trust Fund, as well as the Disability Trust Fund. And with this article, basically what they're saying, and this report that was released very recently, they're mentioning that the Old Age and Survivors Trust Fund is now able to pay full benefits until 2033, which is actually reduced by 1 year as a result of this whole COVID situation that we've been going through. So basically what they're saying is they can continue paying full retirement and survivors benefits through 2033. As of a few months ago, they were saying 2034. So unfortunately, it was reduced by 1 year. Now let's just remember, this is out about 12 years from now. So it's still a very long time out. That's a long time to get them to reform the programs and or do whatever they possibly can to get more revenues coming into these programs to continue to make them solvent for much longer. They also mentioned, for those of you receiving Social Security Disability, SSDI, they mentioned that this program will continue to be solvent. In other words, they can pay full disability benefits until 2057. So that's a long time right from now, right? Like 36 years or something. So if you're receiving SSDI, I would say nothing to worry about. And even retirement or survivors benefits, again, nothing to worry about right now. That is still so far away from now, 12 years. That gives them a ton of time to reform these programs or do something as far as like raising the payroll taxes. You know how when you work a job and you pay in taxes each and every paycheck, they take out Social Security taxes? Well, maybe they could raise the rate on which they collect taxes or whatever they happen to do, but I'm sure they're going to reform the program at some point in the next 12 years from now in order to make sure that these programs will remain solvent. Now, here's one more thing too. A lot of people think that as soon as 2033 hits and these programs are no longer solvent, that means benefits stop. No, that's actually not true. In fact, benefits would just be reduced by about 21 or so percent because they have money coming into the program from payroll taxes, but yet they have more money going out. So essentially what would happen is they would have to pay out less each and every month to all their beneficiaries by about 21%, because that's all the more money that they would have coming into the program, if that makes sense, right? So anyway, This report was just released a couple days ago. I wanted to bring it to you and lay it all out. Again, I'm not here to instill fear in anybody. Please don't worry about this. This is way out into the future, like 12 years in regards to the retirement or the old age and survivors trust fund, and then like a long time, 36 years in regards to the disability trust fund. So either way, I wanted to lay it out because, as I always say to you, I am here for you to keep you updated with everything that's going on right now and any information that I find in regards to everything like Social Security, SSDI, retirement, survivors, SSI, VA, RRB, stimulus checks, stimulus packages, stimulus provisions. I mean, you name it, anything like that. I want to do whatever I can to possibly help out all of you. So this is the latest thing that I found here, and I wanted to run through it and just kind of let you know what everybody's saying in regards to this latest report. So anyway, hope this helps you out. Make sure to subscribe right down below the video. Go back and check out any of my other videos right here on the channel. I have a lot of videos, almost 1,500 videos right here for you to enjoy. So thanks again. I appreciate you joining me from my temporary studio right here. By the way, if you can name the location, maybe I'll give you a little surprise. I'm not really sure what that is, but maybe I will. Anyway, thanks again, everybody. I appreciate it, and I will catch you again soon in the next video.